Welcome to BinaryProCharts.com. In this video, we would like to discuss the development, components, and uses of dimensional support and resistance charts. Dimensional support and resistance charting is a proprietary tool developed by traders over 7 years ago whom took the concept of traditional horizontal support and resistance charting and enhanced it with multiple layers of vectors, resulting in angles, channels, and intersections. DSR developers discovered that this revolutionary new concept worked well with a very high degree of accuracy. The effect of the tool is to identify highly probable points of support and resistance accomplished by these different components that make up a DSR chart. Additionally, applied to different time frames, matching points of support or resistance, whether minor or significant, add more credibility to each point consideration. DSR charts can be applied to multiple markets by multiple trading styles, all resulting in the same high degree of accuracy. Let's look at some specific examples of each component and how a trader might use these alerts. The first component we want to look at is angles. Angular vectors of inclines and declines demonstrate levels of support and resistance. The January 10th chart shows 4 days being held by this angular support vector. The January 6th chart shows multiple groups confined by angular resistance on this 240-minute chart. This February 18th multi-time frame chart shows the last 3 months being confined by a declining angular resistance vector, as well as 9 consecutive days being restrained below this inclining resistance angle. ProChart traders use these angular levels of support and resistance as cautionary points until they are tested and are either penetrated or held. Now we will look at channels. Channels play a significant role in 2 ways. Not only do they act as double levels of support or resistance, but they often trap price inside, between the upper and lower trading range. Note here the price was not able to penetrate this channel in reverse direction. In this example, we see multiple days in which price was trapped inside this channel, stopping and starting new trading periods inside the channel. Here we see price reversing at the support level of this channel to find significant resistance at the bottom side of another channel. ProChart traders identify significant support or resistance as price fails to penetrate a channel, as well as look for possible price direction after price that has been trapped inside a channel finally breaks out in either direction. Let's next look at intersections. Intersections are very powerful, and we see a lot of significant reversal reaction inside these components. These were very significant in successful trading moves as demonstrated throughout the January 31st daily DSR chart. ProChart traders assign significant points or resistance as price begins to pause or struggle at the inside point of an intersection. Here, ProChart traders, keeping in mind the larger time frame and the time left in the trading session, could possibly enter into a position and plan exit strategies at the next reasonable point of support or resistance in the reverse direction. Here we see significant resistance in the form of a channel inside an intersection. On this 480-minute chart, we see price reversing upward after encountering a double channel inside an intersection, to then become trapped inside the next resistance channel, also a double channel. Here we see price start a new period inside that channel to face additional resistance in the form of an intersection. ProChart traders can look to these layered components of support and resistance as significant, and upon confirming price pause and struggle, plan entry and exit strategies, always keeping in mind the larger time frame bias and the time left in the trading period. Finally, we will look at multi-time frame price matchups. This incredibly powerful, revolutionary charting system becomes complete when put to different time frames for side-by-side comparison. Matching levels of support or resistance add more significance to any particular consideration. Pro-chart traders look to the larger time frames to suggest the positive or negative bias and/or significant points to keep in mind before initiating trade. The smaller time frame charts are for fine-tuning and illustrate the more immediate, more open components that price will encounter within the larger time frame structure gaps. On this multi-time frame chart analysis, note the different marked points of support or resistance components and how some match throughout the multiple time frames. On this example of the Snp Pre Market Analysis, we have negative reaction to the monthly resistance, suggesting a negative bias. The weekly chart shows support and resistance channels, both which show up on the 960-minute chart. The 960-minute chart confirms the monthly chart's negative bias, with price reacting negatively to the 1844 resistance level, which is also demonstrated on the daily chart. Note the support and resistance price matchups across all four charts. A pro-chart trader would have initiated entry after confirming a negative price movement and put in place exit strategies at the lower support levels for early morning and afternoon contracts. The next day, pro-chart traders saw price test the 1832 channel until 9:40 a.m. and then reacted upward, hitting 1842 at 10 a.m. Price continued upward to test the 1847 monthly level for about 20 minutes at 10:30 to react negatively and come all the way back to 1833 at 12:30. Price then again reacted off the 1832 support level, retraced back up to 1841 at 2:10 to come back down and finally penetrate the 1832 level at 3:20 for a 4 p.m. closing at 1828. Empowered with visual DSR charts, many pro-chart traders, after taking profit on the downward movement, note price struggle at significant points of support, initiate and realize profits with subsequent upward retracements. On February the 20th, pro-chart traders saw price react off the matching support of 1819, close 10 a.m. contracts at 1827 and 1 o'clock contracts at 1839. After reaching a high of 1842, price closed at 4 p.m. at a price point of 1839. On this example of the euro-dollar, pro-chart traders see price react positively off the 1.3700 intersection to reach 1.3745 for a 10 a.m. contract. Not able to penetrate this resistance level, price then retreats downward to 1.3718 at 11:25 to hit 1.3734 at 1 o'clock, retest the 1.3745 level at 1:45 to be pushed back down again for a 1.3736 4 p.m. close. Pro-chart traders can see price bouncing between the matching support and resistance levels of 1.3700 and 1.3745, and watching price approach and reverse from the multi-time frame price matchups, initiate and take profits in both directions. Pro-chart traders bypass the blind trade signals. Armed with layers of angles, intersections, channels, and multi-time frame price matchups, the side-by-side chart comparison puts it all together, giving pro-chart traders the big picture with details. Barring economic data, macro politics, and breaking news, DSR charts illustrate highly probable points of support and resistance, giving pro-chart traders a visual understanding of price pause, struggle, and reversal, cleaner entry and exit points, and more confidence in their trades.